I'm 47 years old. Sometimes I worry that I've wasted too much of my life, squandered too much time, that it's too late to get my finances in order to build anything that I can retire on. But it's not. I might not have the advantage that I would have had 20 years ago, starting early to take advantage of decades of compounding or anything like that. But it doesn't do any good to even think about that, because what I do have is years of wisdom and experience and knowledge that I've gained over the years, and the determination that comes from being a hard worker, getting out there, rolling up your sleeves, getting your hands dirty, just getting it done. That's the attitude that you need to bring to your personal finances too. You can't worry about where you have been, worry about where you're going. Look at what you can do to set yourself up for the future, even if you don't have the tons and tons of time that you did before. Because if you know how to work hard, you can find a way. And that's what I'm trying to do. Between my morning job in a warehouse and door dashing at night, 60, 70, 80 hours a week easily, sometimes even more. And I don't want to do that forever. So I'm trying to look for ways to front load that value, to make things that I can put out into the world that'll keep paying me over time. The goal of retirement for me, I hope to retire a little early, probably around 59 to 60. The goal isn't to stop work completely, but it's to be in complete control of the work I do, for it to be something that I own instead of working and working and working to build somebody else's wealth. I would never tell anybody not to work hard, but work hard for yourself. Work hard for a purpose. Have a goal in mind. Do you want a big investment portfolio that you can draw dividends off of? Do you want a small business? Do you want something that you manage yourself, that you put value forward, that then pays you back without it having to be dependent on your time? Because where I'm at right now, to be honest, I don't have very much at all. It was a pain to carve out just a couple hours to work on this video this week, for example. But that gets to consistency with your finances or with anything else you want to do. Be consistent. You have to tell yourself, I have to do this at this time, and I have to have this result over and over and over. And those results compound with time, because compounding isn't something that just applies to money. It applies to anything that you can do. Stack one thing on top of another that continue to grow and continue to pay you dividends, not just in the literal sense, but figuratively. So whatever you're doing, say, for example, making YouTube videos, try to make it just 1% better every time. And then the 1% better the next time will already have that 1% underneath it. And then over time, that just, it stacks in a way that's hard to imagine, especially for somebody who's always lived paycheck to paycheck. You're always just worried about the next bill, when the rent is due. How am I going to get the power bill is insane this month. How am I going to get it paid? You've got to just get a little bit ahead of that before you can start to really build something. And it's not too late at any age, because if you're younger and you have tons of time to work with, there is so much I would tell my 20, 25-year-old self right now that would put me in an entirely different position right now. But I can't worry about that. I have to look at what do I have right now? What can I do right now? And how can I maintain some kind of consistency that'll build over time into something better and better and better? Of course, the key to not just this, but anything you do, is never say, I can't do that because I don't know how, or I was never taught how. I reframe that as, the first step is learning how to do it. I don't know how to do that yet, but you have a near infinite source of learning resources right here at your fingertips. from whether it's a YouTube or a Google, or there are tons of articles and blogs and everything you could ever need to learn about. It's right there. Not knowing how to do something is no longer an excuse, because that's all I'm doing here is learning from other sources, be it other channels or blogs or books whenever I have time to read. That doesn't come up much nowadays while I'm working this much. And I take that and try to pass it along to other people, and then hopefully see what I can learn from you. If you can tell me something in the comments that you think I could be doing better. I don't mind constructive criticism, but just being open to learning and growth and change, that's the key to everything. Don't be set in your ways and say, I'm this kind of person and I've always been this kind of person. That kind of person doesn't save, doesn't invest. You choose that constantly. Whenever you wake up and tell yourself that you're that kind of person, that's what you're going to be. And that's not going to change until you just start telling yourself, no, I don't have to be that kind of person anymore. I can be somebody that makes better decisions. Well, as I said, I'm busy. I don't have much time this week, so I have to keep it short. If you found any value in this or any of my other videos, please like and subscribe. Best thing you can do for a small new channel. And until next time, make your paycheck work for you. We can do this.